Let's take a journey through zine making and UFOs, also known as UAPs, unidentified aerial phenomenon. Why those two? Well, both have you thinking, what does it mean to be human, particularly as an artist in this age of AI? And both have something to do with human consciousness. My name is Stephanie. I zine as Andromeda, and as a writer, I find zine making to be very relaxing, very liberating, against the quest for perfectionism, which you must have in prose writing. It's just fun to let loose and be free. And along the way, I kind of learned a lot about UFOs, UAPs, as a writer, as an interested human. And it's pretty wild. So why not put this all to a zine while doing the physical craft of zine making, which I find very settling. First, let's thank the human artist behind this beautiful background, Anton Oxenix, who did this work for Event Horizon, Stories of No Turning Back. Thank you so much, Anton. There's actually a big tradition of UFOs as a theme and zine making. And thank you, Broken Pencil Magazine, for covering this in one of your issues. If you can get some back issues, it was a great magazine while it was out. But yeah, zines, UFOs, let's dig into it. Good stories often start in the middle. Think Star Wars. My story is that one day I was conveying a dream to my cousin. And from that dream, I went into another dream and just described the details, how I felt I was really there. This happened to be a trip to the moon on the side we can't see, kind of described it. And my cousin said, you know, what you're doing is actually remote viewing. Remote viewing? What's that? I asked. Well, I would find out, and into the rabbit hole we go. So first lesson here is we don't need labels. I cannot draw. I am mostly a writer, but that does not stop you when you do zines. That's what makes it so liberating. And who says you can't see the far side of the moon? Open your mind, be possible to anything. That's the joy of zine making. With this in mind, I tend to make very crude folded 8-page zines. They're quick, they're fun, and I mostly do them by hand. This time I tried something new. Because they're so small, I wanted to make sure that the text was actually typed and all the hand drawing would be up to me with pencil. So I don't go into the process of that in this video. That's something that's a little more stressful because it requires me putting all the knowledge and organizing all in one paper, and just noting that when I do draw these zines, it's a one-shot thing. There's no drafting the pictures. It's whatever comes out. I tend to find with my own very basic drawings that the best is just putting stuff out there, first try, no erasing. So you have your zine template, you photocopied it to the color paper of your choice. In this case, I did alien green. What's next? Well, now is the hot dog, hamburger folding part. And I credit Queen of Tacos, a zine librarian, for teaching me that in an online workshop. Next is the cutting. This is where you cut the zine so that it can fold into a booklet. This is actually 2 8-page zines, and I need to fasten them together. Now, you can staple, but I love sewing my chapbooks. I love sewing my zines. The tricky part, and this is where I get really crafty and trying to figure out, trying to be a mechanic, trying to understand the physics of how this zine's going to come together, but also allow people to fold out my smoke and mirrors theory board on UFOs. So it was a lot of fun trying to figure out how to do this, and I decided sewing with a neon pink string would do the trick. Yep. So I was worried that people would miss the fold out part of the zine, so I wanted to make a little tag to flag that there's a lot beneath these layers here that you should explore, as in the case with ufology. We're arts and craft household, so I like to shop within our supplies, and I found these cool photo corners that would do the trick and kind of look like those triangle UFOs we hear about. Oops. This is where the zine pretty much got out of control. This was supposed to be something that was quick, easy, and photocopied, but I find ways to layer and things to add. So on top of the photo corners, I wanted to make sure that those epic alien eyes that we're familiar with from probably the best known book in ufology, Communion, by Whitley Strieber, those alien eyes that really struck a nerve with a lot of people, a lot of experiencers, and being able to recognize what they saw. So I hand cut each of these pairs of eyes for each of the zines and glued them in the back. This is the flattening stage. I have a beefy zine. You don't want your zine to be all out and about. You do want it to be somewhat flat so it's more presentable when you're selling it. And it's a wonderful opportunity to use art books in your household. If that is not in your budget, go to the library, try to get the fattest books you can find, the heaviest books, and they'll do the trick. It's a wonderful time to reacquaint yourself with the books in your library, or perhaps discover new artists to explore. The ones you see here are very spiritually based, and as you explore ufology and human consciousness, you will see there is an overlap in what is spiritual, what is paranormal, and what is out of this world. So while waiting for these zines to flatten overnight, of course, before going to bed, I watched some more alien videos and realized I have some spelling errors in my zine. So you really should do the spell checking before this. I was missing an N here. I confused Star Wars with Skinwalker Ranch, called it Skywalker Ranch. So these are things that luckily I caught. I mean, you want to be imperfect in zines, but like some mistakes you don't want to have. And if you catch them, you catch them. You don't, you don't. But because I did not catch them, I went back and did all 22 corrections. I wanted to have a few special edition versions of these zines, and these are called the Fourth Mind edition. They are in honor of Whitley Strieber's The Fourth Mind, where he added pupils to the eyes of the aliens. And this book goes into some of the sort of genetics, the physicality of what he calls the visitors, and I believe he, in looking back, thinks they actually do have pupils. So these editions have the pupils, and it's an example of me using recycled materials. This is a necklace that broke from a long time ago, kept it, took out the beads. And it's a big question in the whole, what are aliens? Is this a physical phenomenon? Is this a spiritual phenomenon? Is this just a human consciousness phenomenon? There are no clear answers here, and this zine will not provide you with the clear answer, but just provide all the rabbit holes you can go into in trying to figure out truth, if truth is really the end goal here. Then, of course, last stage is to actually sign them. Do not ask me why I did not print the Andromeda name with the date on it. Maybe because I just want to be crafty, and wanted to make each one unique. So I signed them, I date it, put one of my social media handles, and I wanted some metallic in there, but I also didn't want to make it too gaudy, so I put a little metallic finish on where I signed it. And voila, you have your catwalk now for pictures, what these zines look like, beautiful front, back, and the special edition. And back to that eco message, I always look for boxes that I can reuse to store them. So thank you for joining me in this journey, wherever it may take you. Maybe the entertainment of a fun zine, maybe an introduction to human consciousness. Enjoy the ride, and watch out for wormholes.